Hello and welcome to my channel, Talisman Tarot. In this reading I want to ask the cards and Spirit directly through channeling about what's the gossip about you, what are people saying about you behind your back. And so I have 6 groups here that you can choose from. This will be group number 1, this will be group number 2, this will be group number 3, this will be group number 4, this will be group number 5, and this will be group number 6. And so I will ask you to use your intuition and choose the group that speaks to you the most, the group that catches your eye, and that group will be your group. And if you need any more time to choose, you can always just pause the video, but if you don't, I'll just move on to the reading. Hello, group number 1. You chose this Yolanda tarot deck. And so I will start with some channeling and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So, okay, group number 1. The people who will choose group number 1. Group number 1. What's the gossip about group number 1? I did get something about strawberries, and that's very specific, and it's not, maybe it's symbolic, like maybe like a strawberry has the seeds on the outside and not on the inside as many other fruits and berries have, and so the strawberry is kind of different in that way. And so maybe some of the gossip is about either you being a bit different from others, there might be something where you stand out, maybe because you wear your heart on your sleeve, because you are not afraid of talking about your feelings, you're not afraid of maybe also talking about topics that other people see as taboo, like things that people are afraid of talking about, like you. And so this could be the gossip about you, so it could be both positive and negative, but so I think some people see it as a positive thing that you're not afraid of speaking your mind, but there could also be some people who feel like you shouldn't speak your mind all the time, that you should maybe keep some information for yourself, like maybe some people feel like you're sharing too much, that you're sharing too much information, like maybe also that you talk about some private stuff, like sex, or but also like something like going to the bathroom and talking about your bowel movement, or like talking about how you've been constipated for a long time, or that you, like maybe you just share some information that some people might feel like is too much information, but I don't think so. I think it's great, but yeah, so, and I think other people think that that's great too. There are just some people who doesn't care for it, and well, to each their own, and stuff like that. So but yeah, I think but I'll channel a bit more. So group number 1, what's the gossip about group number one? What are people saying about group number one behind their back? Okay, so something came up about like testicles, and so I'm getting some very strange information here. So, okay, some of you could have talked about testicles or genitals or something that some people might have felt like that was too much information. So that could have been the thing for one of you or for some of you. But let's shuffle the cards. So, what's the gossip about group number one? What are people saying about group number one behind their back? So, okay. The High Priestess came up. So, I think there could be some gossip about maybe you being into something like tarot, or that you're a psychic, or that you're into just spirituality or magic or something like that. You might have talked about that to some people, and maybe that's what people felt like what was too much information, or that you were sharing too much, or that like that you shouldn't talk about that because it's taboo, or that's not something you talk about, that's something you keep for yourself, or some, or at least some people might feel that way. Like maybe if you mentioned that you are into tarot or into some magic or something to a religious person, if you said that to a religious person, that person could have like felt like you shouldn't talk about that. That's not something you are like. That's not something you should talk about. Like, or something that this could also be a family member of yours who feels like you should be keeping that a secret. Like you shouldn't go around telling people that. So yeah, I think there might be a family member who's very very traditional, very conservative, and very religious, and this family member might be talking about how you should be keeping this a secret, that you shouldn't talk about it. So yeah, there could be something about that. So with the Judgment here reversed, I think people might I'm getting the feeling that this could be one or a few like religious people in your life who is maybe talking about how you're doing something that is bad from a religious perspective, that like they are afraid on your behalf because they feel like you are like steering away from God by engaging in tarot practices and magic practices and stuff like that. And so there might be some religious people in your life who are talking about that and being concerned about you doing something or like that you're getting yourself into something like that you're way over your head, that you're in way over your head, that you're that you are like playing with forces that are that are really powerful, and you're not taking that into consideration, or that's how they feel, that you're being naive, or that you don't know how powerful these forces that you are playing with can actually be, that you are taking it too lightly or something. But it's only a few people, or maybe just one person in your life who's talking about this. I don't think there's a lot of gossip about you actually, but the one or the few people who are gossiping about you, I'm getting the feeling that it might just be one, but that one person is very eager to gossip about you. And talking about you a lot. But I'm not getting the feeling that it's like that there's a lot of gossip besides that. Maybe some people feeling like you are maybe a bit too free-spirited when it comes to talking about things that are a bit like nasty or taboo, just like so. I don't know, but with the Two of Pentacles reversed, I am getting that there might be some gossip about you not being grounded, or that you are a bit rootless, not ruthless, but rootless, like that you don't have a root in, like you don't stay in one place. Maybe you move around a lot. So some people might be talking about how you are a bit that you're just moving around. That's so there could also be something about you quitting, that you quit something before, that you quit something and you did it, like some people might talk about how you quit something because it was getting tough, like that you were like just throwing in the towel about something because it started getting a bit inconvenient for you, or a bit rough, and that like these people who are talking about this feel as if you should have stayed and kept going and not given up so quickly. Yeah, I think there's something about you giving up too quickly and not waiting it out, like yeah. Maybe there's also something about you taking making rash decisions sometimes without thinking it through. But there's also something about you maybe needing to be more grounded, or that you're an airhead, or that you're too much in your head, that you're psyching yourself out about certain things, and just that you need to like establish some roots, like also not just like when it comes to like your living situation, but also like your setting roots in your studies or in the workplace that you live that you work in, or like just staying put, staying with whatever. Like if you start something, people want to see that you see it through. That and so they are talking about how you quit too easily, and you quit before you make roots, and that it's a shame that you like quit right at the moment, like right before you actually set roots in a place. And if you just waited a bit longer, sometimes that the outcome would be different, or something like that. People might also gossip about you needing things to happen, or that you need movement. You need to like maybe you also have like a hard time sitting still and not doing anything. Like you so people might talk about how you always need to get up and walk around, and like you don't sit put, and you need things to be happening around you. Like you maybe you're not really good at being bored. Like you want to do something all the time, or maybe people just get that feeling that you get bored easily with things, and maybe also that you get bored with something and then you like then you quit on it and start something new, and then you get bored with a new thing, and then you quit on it, and then you start something new, and then you get bored with it and quit on it, and so on and so forth. And so some people might be talking about that. So yeah. I'll shuffle some more cards just to see if something else comes up. So what's the gossip about group number 1? Okay, the Death reversed. So there is something about you needing some change. I think some people are talking about how you need some transformation in your life, that you need to change the way you have, like you may some people might feel like you are stuck in some cycle that you need to break out of, some circle that you keep repeating, or cycles that you keep repeating. And so I think there might be like one person like talking about this, how you need to break out of that cycle, and maybe also that you are too quick to just kill things off. Like you're too quick to just assume that something is dead, that something is finished, and you might be too quick to give up on things just in general. So and you might be like the type who like whenever you leave something behind, you never go back. Like you burn the bridge behind you, and you never revisit it. And some people might be talking about that and gossip about that, and like you might have left a place, like an education, or like a workplace, or something where the other people there might be talking about how you are never going to come back, because that's not your style to come back, that it's more likely that you just leave them and never look back. Or maybe people have just been waiting for you to contact them again, but they have just lost hope, and they just talk about how you are just possibly never going to talk to them again. So with the Two of Swords reversed, I think people, like, this is someone meditating, and so when it's reversed, I think people see you as someone who might need to meditate more. You might just be a bit like all over the place, doing a lot of different things, starting a lot of new projects, and just being a bit stressed out, and people just feel like you need a break, really, that you need some time to really think about your situation and make like a decision made out of like from like a calm place, so yeah, I think people just might feel like you're a bit out of balance in a way, that that there are certain things in your life that are out of balance. Maybe you are bad at balancing your time. You're stressing yourself out and using a lot of unnecessary time on certain things, and then you are completely neglecting other things. And so maybe people also just feel like you're prioritizing your life in an unbalanced way. So with the Three of Swords here, I guess there is some gossip about you being in some situation where you have like a bad situation. Something might have happened, like you might have been like in grief or sorrow about something, and so there might be something where people feel like you're a bit. It's kind of hard to say this, but and I don't think this is like a general thing that people are talking about. I think it's more like just one person that's gossiping about this, but there might be someone talking about how they feel like you are a bit stuck in your grief, that you're like the spider, you're like in the spider web here, that you are stuck there, that you don't seem to be able to see a way out of it, or that you're maybe stuck in not the victim role, but stuck as like not as a victim, but as like you're stuck as, or they feel like talk about how you're stuck as a maybe as a for the it's not really the right word, but like stuck as a patient, but not completely, like not necessarily literally, but like someone who's weak and needs other people's help. And I don't think you are this way, but this person might feel like you are a bit stuck as a patient, or that you're making yourself into a patient, or that you are being needy, or that you're needing help from others, that you can't. There's something about you maybe not being able to care properly for yourself, or something, but it's very negative, and I'm really getting the feeling that it's just one person, and it might be someone from your family. So it's not like someone from your friend group, or from school, or from work, or anything. It's someone in your family, I think. So or someone close to you, but yeah. But I guess that's all I have for you, group number 1. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 2. You chose this Tarot del Fuego tarot deck, and so I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So, okay, group number 2. The people who will choose group number 2. What's the gossip about group number 2? I think there's like kind of a lot of like not necessarily gossip, but it seems as if quite like many people are talking about you, but it's positive. I'm getting that it's positive. I think actually I think you've done something quite extraordinary, or something, and there's just something where people are really looking up to you for doing something, or for daring to do something. Something like, it can be something you did in the past, but people are still talking about it. But I'm not quite sure if it's like in the past, or now, or I'm not. But something. It just seems as if you've done something that really showed how much drive you have. There's something where you stuck with something and you didn't quit it. You kept at it, and I think people are just really inspired by that you were able to focus on your goal and actually go for it. But there's also something about 24/7 that, like, I don't know what that's about, like if you're like working 24/7, or studying 24/7, or like there's just something where you might have like been doing something 24/7 and people are talking about that. But yeah, 24/7 came through. There might also be something about you being like accessible 24/7, like maybe someone has like maybe some of your friends have like contacted you like in the middle of the night, and you answered their text like even though it was in the middle of the night, or just that you're up 24/7. There could also have been something where you were studying for a test, and you took like an all-nighter where you just kept yourself up for 24 hours or more, and yeah, so there's something about devotion here, like you being very devoted to whatever your whatever you do, that maybe also that you give your attention to, like you have a lot to give people, but like mostly like time and attention, and like I think people like even though you seem to be a very busy person, it seems as if you have the energy to actually be there for the people in your life, even though they know that you are very busy. And I think that's one of the things that people really admire about you, is that you make time for the people in your life. You just you're forcing your way through in a way where like you seem to have more hours a day than other people do, or that's kind of what people are saying about you, that it seems as if you just have like this unlimited that unlimited source of like energy and time, and I'm also getting something about you being very intelligent, very knowledgeable, that you're also like you also have like an unlimited source of like information. You seem to have a lot of information. There's also something about you keeping track on like practical things, like in school and or at work or whatever. Like you keep track at like the schedule and what's going to happen, like if there's any seminars going on, or if there's any like you keep track on the practical things, and so like I think people see you as like this source of information where they can go to you, like if they have a question about anything they can go to you and you have the answers. You just know a lot of things, like you there's also something about you having like one maybe one advantage as well. Like there could be something where you actually have a source of information that other people don't. Like you could have like access to some website or something that that only you have because like I don't know why, but like maybe because you have like, for instance, if you're like dyslexic, you might have access to some website that provides you with audiobooks or something, and so you get free audiobooks, and people might be talking about that. Or maybe you've borrowed some people access to the website, and maybe people are just really grateful that you like did that. But there's something about you having like some special access to something. That could also be if you're like a teacher or a mentor or something, then you might have some special access to some information that the other students don't or something. But with the King of Cups reversed, I think there might be some like there might be some gossip about like if you see this card here when it's upright, there's like this skeleton like buried underneath this forest, and and when it's reversed, like there could be something about maybe people maybe you have a lot of information about old stuff, like maybe you know a lot about history and a lot about ancient history, ancient texts, ancient religions, ancient mythology, all that ancient stuff. Maybe also ancient like civilizations or ancient aliens. Maybe also like ancient alien theory, or something where you just know something about some old stuff that was buried a long time ago. So maybe archaeology as well. Like you can maybe also just take something that's like borrowed, not borrowed, but buried. Did I say borrowed before? Sorry, buried. Borrowed may be something too. So maybe you have borrowed something to people, and they are like wanting to return it, but they haven't. Or maybe you have borrowed something from someone else, and that person kind of wants it back. So there could be something borrowed that needs to be returned. But there could also be something where you take buried you know a lot about buried things, and you can take buried things and get them up to the surface, and like that also makes me think of necromancy. So maybe you've talked about that with some people. Also like reading bones. And like doing something with bones, or maybe there could also be something about you having kind of a dark humor, or like a very morbid humor. But yeah, let's shuffle and see if something comes up about the gossip about you, group number 2. Okay, so with the 5 of Cups here, I think people might see you as a bit of a pessimistic person, even though you are very devoted and motivated, and like you follow your goals and all of that. But you might be able to do that because you keep a bit of a pessimistic mind, and those two things doesn't necessarily have to it's not necessarily polar opposites to be like devoted but also being pessimistic, like following a goal and being pessimistic. That can be something you can do at the same time, and that you can have both of those characteristics, because like pessimism can actually help in the way that like maybe you are just being very realistic, like there could also be something about you not you don't like believe that like everything will just fall into your lap, like you know that everything needs hard work, that you won't be getting anything by just sleeping, like you need to work in order to accomplish whatever you want to do. So I think, but I think you might also like talk about like when you talk about your accomplishments, you might downplay them a bit. You might talk them down and like say, oh, it's nothing, or you might be very humble about what you've accomplished, and you might also do it in a way where it even seems a bit negative, as if you are putting yourself down and talking about your accomplishments in a negative, or like in a negative way, where it almost seems like that you're disappointed in the outcome, or that's kind of how some people see it. But it's a weird thing, but because like in one way you're like humble, but in like on one side you're humble, on the other side you might also seem a bit disappointed in whatever, like, so those two things are kind of like those two things don't go that well together. But maybe you have that thing where you'd have where you I don't know, but there could also be something about you maybe not seeing your accomplishments because you keep maybe you're disappointed not in your accomplishments now, but in the accomplishments from the past. Like there could be something in the past that keeps haunting you, some opportunity that you were presented in the past that you didn't fully take advantage of, and so you're still kind of cringing over the fact that you let that opportunity go, and maybe you're still talking about how you're disappointed in yourself that you didn't do that something that you had the opportunity to do in the past. But you're not disappointed in the things that you've accomplished now, and you're humble about those things, but you might still keep talking about something from the past that you felt like slipped away. And that could also have something to do with love. Like you might talk about like someone who got away, like a relationship that ended that you didn't want to end. Someone who for some reason slipped away from your hands. So there could be something there where you felt like you missed an opportunity. So people might be talking about that missed opportunity. The person could be talking about that too, like the person that you missed the opportunity with could be talking about how you missed that opportunity with them. Or maybe there's an ex who's like still talking about how you can't get that you can't get over them, and like some cocky bastard from the past might still be riding high on that belief that you are like stuck and can't get over them. And that, I don't know if that's the truth, but that might be something they are telling themselves or kidding themselves about. But yeah, with the 7 of Cups, I think someone could be gossiping about you, maybe having too many dreams, that you have you have too many goals. That maybe you're not seeing, like you're not seeing like you're not living in the now. You're not living in the present moment because you're too focused on your goals. That you're not living. That you're too much. That you're planning ahead. You're thinking of the future instead of just living now. This could be your family feeling that you're feeling like you're neglecting them because you're not spending enough time with them, and you're maybe focusing on your career or your education and not coming back or coming home to visit them or something. Maybe you didn't come home for Christmas last year, and they might still be a bit mad about that or something. So with the 7 of Wands reversed, you can see how like this maybe there might be some people who feel like you're pushing them away. So there might be some people who like, I think many people feel like you are actually giving them a lot of attention, and that you are like, but there might be some people in your life who feel like you are pushing them away, that you are maybe also prioritizing other people. Like if maybe your family feels like you're prioritizing your friends over them, like you're giving them your full attention, but you're not giving your family any attention, or that that some of your friends feel neglected while other friends don't feel neglected at all. And so maybe some people feel like you are unfair in the way that you give out your attention, that some people get it, some people don't, and some people might feel like that's unfair. So yeah, so yeah, but, yeah, with the 5 of swords here reversed, I think there might be some people who feel like you're not being careful with yourself, that you are putting yourself in a position where you are in not necessarily in danger, but not in a very secure environment. There could be something where you do something for a living that kind of puts you on the spot, or puts you in a position where people can take advantage of you, or can do something to you where like you're not protected, or something like, or maybe people feel like you're not protecting yourself enough, or that you are a bit naive in the way that you trust people, or that you are being too trusting, that you should be more careful who you trust and who you give your attention to. So there could be some people who feel like you're prioritizing some friends over them, but these people who feel that way feel as if like the friends that you are giving attention to, that they are not your real friends, or that they are not right for you, that they won't have your back, or that it seems as if they are your friends, but really they aren't, or something like that. But there could also be something about people being afraid that others will steal from you, or just that I think people feel like you should watch out in some way. Maybe also like when it comes to dating, or like if you're dating people, like maybe someone is talking about how you don't protect yourself when you do that, like that you are just getting into like strangers' cars and just trusting that they won't do you any harm or something, that you're meeting up with dates in like not public areas, like maybe inviting dates, Tinder dates, to your home, or going to their home, like without thinking of the consequences, or without thinking of your safety, or something where I think people feel like you are not being secure enough, like you're not thinking about your safety. So yeah, but also stealing, like that people feel like you are like trusting your money with some with some shady types who like who you shouldn't trust, or something that could be specific for one of you, but like there could be something where people just talk about how you need to watch out, and think about who you are trusting. So yeah. But there's also something about writing. I think like there is some positive gossip about you being really good at writing, and so there are some people who feel like you could actually become like a writer, or a famous writer. Some of your friends or someone in your family might have like read your something that you wrote, an essay, or a short story, or an article or something, and they really liked it, and so I think they are talking about that to other people, how you are really talented. This could also be creative, something creative. If it's not writing, it could be something creative like drawing, or painting, or something like that. Music as well, but something creative that like you have some. Someone might be talking about you having some creative talent. So yeah. But that's all I have for you, group number 2. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 3. You chose this Wonderland Tarot deck. And I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. So, okay, group number 3. The people who will choose group number 3, what's the gossip about them? There could be something about oh, sorry, I shouldn't have done that. So I have allergies, so like rubbing my eyes was like a bad idea. But okay, so yeah, fuck. But so there could be something about allergies, you having allergies, but I'm also getting something else here. Group number 3. Something about something about you coming from like that you had a rough upbringing. Someone might be talking about that. You might come from like a place that could be considered like a ghetto, or a bad neighborhood, and you might talk about that to people today, where like you share that, and I don't think you're ashamed of sharing that, but I think you you share also, like you're not afraid of sharing stories that might shock people, like because I think you have a lot of stories that are shocking. I think some people have been talking about that, and talked about, like, and it's not really gossip, I think, because like I think just I think people are just talking about some of the things that you talk to them about. Like they were really moved by your story, and so they chose to like tell others about it, because like I think there is one person, a friend of yours, I think it's a male, who might have been telling people your story, but maybe in a way where he has been trying to defend you. Like someone might have gotten the wrong idea about you, and this person has told them that they were wrong about you, that that's not that they have it all wrong, that you are this, that you act the way that you act because you've been through whatever you've been through. That it's like some people might get the wrong idea about you for some reason. Like some people might misinterpret you as a bit serious or a bit tough, or like a very maybe a bit rough around the edges, like you and so you might come across as a bit tight, or not tight, but like a bit like people don't want to mess with you, because like they know that they shouldn't, because they don't know what, like there's just something where you might also have like a resting bitch face, or you just might have like something that makes people see you as a bit mean, or bitchy, or like that you don't like them. I think that's kind of that's more the thing. Like I think many people get the wrong idea about you, because they think you dislike them, that you have something against them, that you even that you hate them. Like that, like people get this feeling that you just that they shouldn't bother you, or that you're bothered by their presence, even though you're not. And I think people find that out quite quickly. It's just like that people's first impression of you is usually that you're kind of bitchy, and then they get to know you, and then they realize that you're actually really very caring and nice and kind, and so yeah, but I think you have a story that is kind of shocking, and like many people change their mind about you when they hear your story, because like it's like people feel like it makes sense why you're a bit tough, like but let's shuffle the cards and see what's the gossip about group number 3. So, okay, Ace of Oysters reversed, which is Ace of Pentacles reversed. So some people might be talking about you not having money, or that you have financial problems, or that you had like an upbringing where you were poor in your childhood, or in your youth, or something. But you're not. It's not necessarily now. But I think people talk about you as maybe that money has maybe always been an issue. Like you don't have like the advantages as some people have. Like you don't come from a wealthy family, so you don't have like your parents can't like pay for your education or pay for like there's something about maybe you having some disadvantages in life where like the people around you might have like had better had like advantages that you did over you, like but there could also be something about you living a bit primitive, like you might live in a very, very small apartment, or like a room somewhere like in like where you live with a lot of other people, or like people might assume that you can't afford to live anywhere else, that maybe you can afford that, maybe you choose to live where you live, but some people might gossip about that, about you not being able to afford anything better. But that could maybe not, like that doesn't have to be the case. Maybe that's a rumor that's false. But yeah. So with the eight of flamingos here, which is 8 of swords, I think like in this particular card, I think I kind of interpret it as you maybe that people might gossip about you being a bit that you keep getting into fights. That's not the normal interpretation I make of this card, but like in this particular card here, like it makes me think of someone who's kind of defending themselves, and so maybe people might feel like you're constantly constantly defending yourself. You assume that people are out to get you or something. Like you might misinterpret some things that people say. Like you might take it the wrong way. Like if someone says something and it's neutral or even like a bit positive, then you might misinterpret it as being an insult or being negative. And maybe you're right, but people don't want you to know that. But like, but I think some people might gossip about you, maybe taking things the wrong way. That you are assuming that people are worse than they actually are. You assume the worst. And there could be something about you being defensive, that you're also like kind of argumentative. you're not afraid of telling people of, like, you're not afraid of making your opinion known. Like if someone says something that you find offensive, you're not afraid of calling them out on their bullshit and say, like, that's not okay to say that, you shouldn't say that, or you shouldn't do that, or like if someone says or does something you don't like, you react and you're like, you're not just saying whatever you think people want you to say. You're not pleasing other people. You're not afraid of becoming unpopular. Like you're not afraid of saying something that could make you unpopular, because like you still feel like it's more important to say it than to be friends with everyone. Like but yeah. But I think people feel like you are a bit blind towards their kindness. Like people might feel like their kindness goes unnoticed, or that like maybe you are a bit like maybe you have a hard time like accepting like a compliment. If someone compliments you, you might even get like a bit mad about it instead of just saying thank you. And some people might feel like you are you're not being welcomed. You're not welcoming their kindness. So yeah, there could be something about you just like brushing like the compliments away, like saying, oh, that's not right. Like if someone compliments you, you say like you're wrong. That's not at all the truth. Or you might even like bluntly say like why like now you're putting me in an awkward position where I have to compliment you back, or like maybe you make a joke about it, and maybe the joke doesn't really, maybe some people don't understand that it's sarcastic, or like you might have that humor where you say some things that sound a bit rude, like where you joke about how about something like that, how you can't really, like how it's annoying that people give you compliments because now you have to give it back and you can't really think of anything nice to say. Or even though, okay, that sounds kind of mean, but it's not really that, but it's like, I'm just getting that you might have some jokes that you say, and not that like something you say where people might take you seriously, even though you're not being serious. You might like when you say jokes or when you're being sarcastic, you might not give it away that you're actually being sarcastic. You might, some people might not pick up on the fact that you are being sarcastic sometimes, and they just think you're mean, or yeah. With the Seven of Swords, there is or 7 of flamingos here. There is something about you, about people maybe talking about you going it alone, being a lone wolf, that you are very much on your own, and you're not really like, you're not asking anyone for help. You're doing everything on your own, and people might see that as a bit arrogant, even though it's not. But they might see you as like, oh, you don't need anyone. Oh, you're too smart to ask for help. You don't need help from anyone. Like if it's like about your studies, like if you're in some kind of education or something where you have some classmates, and then your classmates might feel like, oh, you're too good to ask for help. You have everything under control. You don't need anything from anyone else. And they might see that as a bit arrogant. And some people might also, like you might have been joking around also about like that you don't want to ask anyone for help, because then you have to help them back, like, and something like that, where you were being sarcastic, but people didn't pick up on that or something, or you were kidding and people didn't pick up on it, but yeah, there. People might just, there could be some gossip about you choosing to be alone, choosing to, maybe also that you're ignoring other people, or that you're like purposely being alone, like that you just don't want to be bothered by others. That like some people might think that they like might be a bit afraid of approaching you, because they are afraid that you will reject them, because you would rather just be alone and not be bothered by others. And you might like just say that as well, like that maybe that's also something that you openly talk about, but maybe that's not really the case, but maybe it's a facade that you put on, a mask that you put on, where you like tell people that you don't need anyone, or that you're fine being on your own, and you work better alone, and you don't want to work in teams because you want to just be by yourself. And like you might say that, but maybe that's not really what you mean, but maybe it is. But people might feel like you're not really contributing to the group or the social, like to the class. Like if you're in a class, the other class members or classmates might feel like you are not in the group, that you're not making an effort to become one of them, and yeah, so there could be something about that. You could be an Aquarius, like you could just have that thing where you are where you might feel like an outcast, even if you're not, but you could have Aquarius in your moon sign and Sagittarius in your sun sign, or the other way around. But there could be something where you feel feel as if you're an outcast, even if other people don't see it that way. But like it might just be something that you have convinced yourself about, that you don't fit in with others, that you're better off alone because you have different interests and you don't know how to talk about like the things that other people are talking about, and you don't like to engage in like short small talk, and it's just easier to keep your distance from others and like being the outcast. And so maybe you're making yourself into a more of an outcast than you like. You're maybe not naturally an outcast. Like it's not because people don't want to be with you, it's because it's the other way around. You don't want to, or you are giving off the vibe to others that you don't want to be with them. And you might feel like other people don't want to be with you, and other people might feel like you don't want to be with them. And so it's I think if you actually just talk more to people, and like if you're afraid of talking to others, then maybe you don't have anything to be afraid of, because I think there are a lot of people who are actually gossiping about how they are sad that you don't like them, that you don't want to be with them, that it's so yeah. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 3. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 4. You chose this Tarot de Marseille. And this tarot de Marseille tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards for you. And so, okay, group number 4. The people who will choose group number 4. What's the gossip about group number 4? There's something about utensils. I don't really know what it's about. It could have been like something about an incident about some utensils. But maybe also just something about some equipment, like some yeah. Something about some missing something that's that But also, I think that's very specific for one of you. But I'm also getting like something about you that you need to believe in yourself, or that you are good at believing in yourself, or that you can make like lemons into lemonade in some way. It's very there's something where you there's also something about you maybe talking things up, or that when you tell a story, you might over exaggerate. There's like one person maybe in your life who's gossiping about this. It's not a general thing, I think, but like there's someone talking shit about you, saying that you have not necessarily lied about something, but maybe made it out to be something that it wasn't, or talked about something where you over exaggerated the story, or maybe someone thinks you're lying about, like this could be specific for one of you, but there could be one of you who has like someone in your environment who is certain that you have lied about something, and that could be something about those, like something that went missing, and maybe they are like thinking that you did it, or something broke, and they were sure that you were the one who broke it, or it could have been something from the past, like from long ago, but they are like still like they still, I don't know, still talk about this. I don't know. Sometimes like it could also be like a sibling of yours who like who felt like who were sure like that you broke something back when you were small children, that you broke one of their toys or something, and they might still talk about, oh, you can't, like maybe they say that like to other family members or your friends or something, that you can't be trusted because you just break things and then you don't like, or something. It's very weird. But yeah, your sibling might keep bringing up something from the past, or and they might feel like that's something that is characteristic for you, that something that they can use against you for all eternity, really, because like they feel like it never gets old. There's also something about a joke that they feel like never gets old, and it's a joke on you, and like it's probably a joke you've heard a lot of times, and so like it's really not gossip if you know they talk about that, but it might just be something they talk about behind your back, but it might not come as a surprise to you because it's something they have kept like making fun of like always, since you were a child. And so there could be something that just keeps repeating itself, some joke, something that you said or did when you were a child, or maybe you were a chubby child and maybe you're skinny now, but your siblings are still like making fun of you for being chubby as a child, or telling other people that, oh, you know, she was very chubby as a child, or she or he, I don't know your gender, of course, but yeah, there might just be something where it might not only be your siblings, it could be your whole family, really, who keeps some kind of story alive about you from your childhood, and keeps like repeating that story over and over again, to new people, but also to other family members who also have heard the story many times before. So yeah, but yeah, but let's shuffle the cards. What's the gossip about group number 4? Okay, so with the Ace of Wands reversed, I think there might be some gossip about you not being very interested in sex, or that you are like, maybe someone is like talking about how you could, how like maybe you're asexual, or something, that you're just one of those who, like, maybe you have been single for a while, and so some people might be like trying to solve the mystery why you're still single, and so they might be thinking that, oh, it must be because you're asexual, or that you are homosexual, or that like there's something kind of wrong with you, since you are not in a relationship, even though it could just be that you haven't found the one, and or that you like being single, or but some people might be talking about like that there's something wrong with you for not, because you're not interested in getting into a relationship or having sex, or maybe people feel like you need to have sex, or that you haven't had sex for a long time, and that you're that it would be good for you. Like, maybe if you have like some immature siblings, they might like talk about how you're making their lives a living hell, because you're just and it's just because you're frustrated sexually or something, or that you would ease up and become more calm or relax more if you just had sex, and like it's something like that. I don't know. But with the 7 of Cups here, I think people might feel like you you're maybe not really seeing what's like you're being too idealistic in some way, that you have some ideals that you live by, or that you might, some people might feel like you are like in a fantasy world, or that you are like maybe that you're not finding love because you have too high standards, or that you are not that the perfect partner, that image of the perfect partner that you have in your head, even though you don't have it, but like people might say that you have this perfect image in your head of or this image in your head of a perfect partner, and that's getting in the way of you ever finding a partner or something, that you have too high standards. So that, and with the world here, I think people, I think some people are actually kind of, even though they might be very like pushy, and like those people who are pushing you into starting a relationship, these same people might be actually kind of envious of you, because they might be in like a relationship themselves, and they might feel like they would love to have the freedom that you have, and so there's something where I feel like people are a bit jealous of you because you're single, because the world is your oyster, because you don't have any obligations in your life, or something like that. Some of your friends or family members have like children and families and obligations, but while you can sort of do whatever, or that's maybe only for a few of you, but that's kind of like I'm getting that some people feel like you have like, but also that you have a lot of opportunities, that you have like offers coming your way all the time, that maybe also that like if you're single, you might be, there might be a lot of people who actually want to be with you, and some people might be envious of that, and feel like it's a shame that you're not taking advantage of that, or that you're blind to that, or that you don't see it, or that you're just not interested in that. And some people might feel like that's kind of unfair, like if you have some single friends who want to be in a relationship really badly, but can't because they can't find anyone to date or something, and then they look at you and you don't want to date anyone and you want to be single, but people are just throwing themselves at you or something, and so, or even if that's not the case, then people feel that way for some reason, that that's what's happening for you, but yeah, with the 9 of Swords here, I think people just feel like you are maybe staying at home too much, that you're not you're not putting yourself out there, and people might be gossiping about that, that you're not finding love because you're not putting yourself out there. That you're just like there's also something about like you just staying at home and like waiting for the one to come to you or something, or that might not be the case, but that's maybe something one person is saying, that you're just waiting for others to make a move on you or something, and like you're not actively trying, but you're like being a bit passive or something. With the Four of Swords, I think people just feel like you're being maybe a bit chill, and especially about something that other people are not, don't feel like you should be chill about, and that could be about love. Like you might be a bit chill and feel like, oh, it will happen when it happens, and other people might be rushing you and feel like you shouldn't be so calm and relaxed about it. You should go out and do something and make it happen. It could also have something to do with your work or your studies or something, where people feel like you are taking things too lightly, that you're not taking things seriously. Maybe also your career, that like maybe if you work somewhere where you're not going anywhere, like career-wise, where there's no ladder that you're climbing up at, like you're just in a job that will keep being the same for many years, like there won't be any like something like that. And like maybe some people feel like you are underachieving by doing what you're doing right now, or something, or that you're not being serious enough about your career, that you should start taking it seriously. Maybe also there could be something about your parents feeling as if you need to start planning on having children, or something, or prioritizing having children, or prioritizing children or something. Like if you already have children, like I don't think you have, but like if one of you have children, there could be some people gossiping that you're not prioritizing your children over something else, or I don't know, but yeah, something about you having to become more serious about it, or yeah. But that's all I have for you, group number 4. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 5. You chose this, the Icelandic tarot deck, and I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle the cards. So, okay, group number 5. The people who will choose group number 5. There's something about traveling here, and I think people, it could be a bit old gossip, but not really that old, but it could be some gossip from this pandemic, where you might have traveled to a different country while we were while in the pandemic, and some people might have looked down on that, or felt like you shouldn't have done that, or so yeah, I'm getting something about something about the pandemic, something about you not being cautious enough, something about you doing something that they thought was selfish, or something that you were a bit ruthless, or that you should have been more concerned with other people's health or something. That you were being a bit too, didn't take it seriously enough. And there could be also just have been something where you said something about the pandemic, and you said, and someone might have felt like you were not taking it seriously, that you were wrong. Maybe you said something about, like something about a conspiracy theory regarding the pandemic, maybe in the beginning of the pandemic, or a conspiracy theory about like the vaccine or something, or you might have like said that you were concerned about the vaccine, and maybe you haven't had the vaccine yet, so some people might feel like you are being very selfish for not getting the vaccine, but you might be on the fence about it. You might feel like it's you want to make the decision when you're completely sure about it, and so maybe you're waiting, or maybe you have been waiting before, but maybe you have already gotten it, but maybe some people felt like you got it too late, that you should have gotten it earlier on or something. Also something about you spreading some propaganda or something. But yeah, I think there's something where you had a different opinion than these people who are gossiping about you, and so they talked about that. And so, but I'll shuffle some cards now and see if something else will come up about this gossip. What are people saying about group number 5? Okay, so the moon here, this card actually says something kind of is very fitting for this. So it says, on the card it says, a situation in which one has only oneself to rely on, trust your intuition, false friends. But like, I think it's more about, I think the gossip is more about you relying on yourself, like you not listening to other people's advice, but following your own intuition, but in a negative way, where people feel like you should have caved into peer pressure. You shouldn't have swam. You shouldn't have been swimming against the stream. You should have been swimming with the stream. And people felt like you were being maybe also being a bit difficult, because you were choosing to do your own thing and follow your own rules and not listen to other people's rules, and or something like that, or that you were just not listening to the advice from like doctors, and like and instead listening to yourself. And some people can't take that, some people see that as arrogant if people follow their own intuition about what they should do for with their body. So with the Seven of Swords, that's kind of the same thing. The Seven of Swords is the lone wolf card. It's the card, like, I think people are gossiping about you going it alone and doing things your way, and not confiding, not asking other people, not listening to other people, but listening only to yourself, doing what's best for you, and being a bit selfish in that way, or that's kind of what people are gossiping about, that you are doing things for yourself and not for the greater good of everyone else, but for you and your body, and making sure that you don't get that you don't harm your body, and in the process people feel like you're harming everyone else. And there could be something where people feel like you are cheating, that you're cheating the system, that you're cheating other people, that you're not sacrificing yourself for the greater good, and that you should be doing that. So there's just, like, if it's not like now, I think it might have been like in the beginning of the pandemic, or like, but it doesn't have to be now. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at. So but what's the gossip about group number 5? Is there more gossip about group number 5? Okay, so with the 10 of Cups here, it says like good family life, and it kind of makes me think that some people might feel like you are sort of privileged, or that you are able to swim against the stream because you have the means to do that, like other people had to get the vaccine, because if they didn't get the vaccine, they couldn't work, and so maybe some people might have felt like it was a privilege that you could just not do that, or something. So there could also be something about you coming from a very good, like well-off family, or maybe that you have been spoiled by your family, or something, or that you're not being that you're not being asked to be accountable for something that you did, and like maybe also like if this has something to do with you visiting your family in the beginning of the pandemic or something, then some people might feel like, oh, you have like, you shouldn't have put your family in danger, and your family should have told you to stay away, and that they probably didn't tell you to stay away because you were spoiled, or that you did that they couldn't say no to you, or like it's it's very specific maybe for one of you, but yeah, but I think some people might be a bit a bit envious of you because you have such a great family, also, and that you come from like an easy environment in some way, that you had it easy or something, or that you have it easy now, that you have a lot of like support from your family or something. With the King of Cups here, there could be something about like there could be one person who is a King of Cups who is gossiping about you, but this could also be someone in your life who because like the 10 of Swords is here too, and the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Swords is on each side of this King of Cups. So it kind of makes me think that there might be one character here who was in your life before or something, who was both like really good for you and also really, really bad for you. Who gave you a lot of happiness and peace and love, and but also gave you like a very, very a lot of grief and sorrow. And so it could be someone who broke up with you and left you in like a very low point, and left you in pain. So yeah, that could be a thing here where you might people might feel like you still haven't processed this thing that happened with this King of Cups. It could also be a family member, it could be a friend, but it could also be an ex-boyfriend of yours who wronged you. But something might have happened, and this person left you with like some great ups and some very devastating downs. And this person could also have like put you through an emotional roller coaster where it was like constantly ups and downs through a period of time. There could also be something about you, about people maybe even judging you for getting tangled into this relationship to begin with. So this person could be a bit of like a shady character, someone who's a bad boy or something like that. And some people might have like warned you about this person not being good for you, but you didn't listen, and so you had some very high highs and some very low lows, and that could also kind of indicate to me that this King of Cups, who's a male, likely a male, likely a water sign, so Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, and this person could have like introduced you to some drugs or some kind of lifestyle that people around you didn't quite understand or didn't like. So yeah. And some people might have been gossiping about how you lacked excitement in your life, and like because you have had a life where you have had a harmonious family, where everything was like dandy and sweet and nice, and everything was just and you had to like rebel against like this ideal life by starting engaging in something that's rough and bad, like in contrast to the good upbringing that you had or something. But I don't know. But yeah, I think that's all I have for you, group number 5. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye. Hello, group number 6. You chose this Jonathan D. tarot deck translated into Icelandic. And so I will start with some channeling, and then I will shuffle these cards for you. So, okay, group number 6. What's the gossip about the people who will choose group number 6? Bossy. Okay, that came like really strongly. So, okay, some people might be talking about you being a bit bossy. Okay, yeah, dominant, hard-headed, or hot-headed maybe, very stubborn as well, very fixed. You could be a fixed sign, like you just there's something where you're very fixed in your ways. You want everything to be kind of particular as well, like you want things to be done your way, like your way or the highway. You're not good at compromising or something, like you want things to be a certain way. There's also something about quality. You want everything to be up to a standard, and maybe that's also like something about your work, how you work. Like when you work, you want your work to be to a high standard. So you put a lot of effort into your work to keep it at a high standard, and you don't want anyone to mess with it. You don't want to compromise with other people. You're probably not the best team player, because like you don't want to compromise. Like if other people come, like if you have an idea that you want to do, some vision, if you have a vision in your head about how you want things to be done, you don't want anyone to come in and come with a different idea or like a compromise or some other way to do it. Like you want things to be done your way, and so, or that's kind of the gossip about you. So I don't know if it's true, but that's kind of the rumors going on, that you are very particular with what you do and you want things to be done a certain way. And yeah, also, if you're in a relationship, some people might feel like you are like a bit dominant in that relationship, that you're kind of controlling your partner and telling them what to do, and telling them what clothes to wear, or like micromanaging everything, and like putting like your fingerprint on everything. Like it's so the King of Cups came up, and so maybe this is the person you're in a relationship. Like if you're in a relationship, some people might talk about like, oh, poor them for having to like like because they have like lost themselves in this relationship, or that you're controlling them, even though you might not even be controlling your partner if you have a partner, but people might assume that because your partner isn't hanging out with his friends, his or her friends all the time, and they might have done that in the past, but now when they are in a relationship with you, they have stopped doing that. And maybe they stopped doing that because they wanted to stop doing that, and so maybe it doesn't have anything to do with you. But for some reason, I think people like see it as like there's something where you are dominating someone, or that you're talking on someone's behalf or something as well. Like you might be talking on your partner's behalf, but even if it's not your partner that you're talking for, then it could also be a friend. Like you might have like a very silent friend, like a friend who's the silent type, who doesn't say much, who's a bit shy or something, and you might help them out sometimes by talking for them when you can feel that they feel awkward in in a group or something. Then you might talk for them, and maybe your friend is actually really happy that you do this, but for some reason other people might see it as you being controlling, or as you being dominant, and as you be not allowing them to talk, that you are taking the word out of their mouth, even though you're actually doing the opposite. You're helping them out because you know that it's a struggle for them, and so I think you're doing something. I think some people might misinterpret your dominating or bossy side, because I don't think it's bossy or dominating. I think it is more you who, I think you're just, I think you take charge, but I think it's because deep down you know how they feel, and so there could be something about you that you were like that before, that you have been shy as a child, or that you have been shy as a teenager, and so you know how it is to feel like you can't say what you want to say, like in a group, or you might know how that social anxiety feels, and so whenever you are around a shy person, you want to help them out because you know how they feel, because you have been there, or maybe you have a family member who's really shy, like a sibling who's really shy, and so you might have been used to helping them out, and so it comes really natural to you to take their to take charge and help them, but let's see if there's something else, some gossip about you. Group number 6. What's the gossip about group number 6? What are people saying about group number 6 behind their back? What's the gossip about group number 6? Eight of Cups. So I think there might be something where people are talking about you walking away from something, in the middle of something, like you were in the middle of something and then you walked away, and people are gossiping about that. So it could be like on a micro scale or a macro scale, like it, or like whatever. But like it could be like something small. It could be something big, a bit bigger. But like it could be something like you going home early from a party without telling anyone that you were going home, and so people were gossiping about why you went home that night. Maybe they were afraid that you were mad about something or something, but there could also be something about you that you left, like a job or an education. There could be something. I'm also getting something about the pandemic here, that you walked away from something during the pandemic. You quit on something during the pandemic or something, maybe to start something new, but or maybe to start your own thing, like being employed, starting your own business or something. And there could be some gossip about that, and maybe in a negative way, that you gave up on it. That you were not weak, but that you made yourself out to be stronger than you were or something. It's like some people might have felt like you had it all in your mouth, or like that you I don't think that saying translates very well to English, but like it, that this bossy, dominant, controlling thing that people were picking up on from you, that it was all for show. But when like shit started burning, you were not in control over it, like you lost control over it. And like maybe people also feel like, because you want everything to be so particular, you want everything to be go your way, and when the pandemic started, it was out of your control. You were pushed to go with a different plan than the plan that you had originally set your mind on. And I think people feel like you didn't adapt very well to the changes. You didn't, and that it was maybe because you were so particular with how you wanted things to go, that you couldn't rethink it and like think of it anew and try to like adapt to the situation and make a new plan. That you quit on it because you couldn't get it the complete right way that you wanted everything to happen. That you kind of burned down because you couldn't control it to the point where everything would just go as you vision, your vision in your head, and so that could be some gossip about you, that the reason why you quit on something was because you were too stubborn in your way and didn't adapt to the changes that the pandemic created. So with the Ace of Wands, I think people feel like you made some rash decision, and with the Sun that came up with it, it seems as if people feel like you made a decision where you maybe also focused on your mental health, where you focused on your happiness, and that's a good thing, but some people might have seen it as you quitting, as you taking the easy way out, that you should have stayed and fought, and that you should just have dealt with the fact that it was hard. That it's some people might feel like they didn't have that opportunity themselves to just quit when got tough, when it started being difficult, but they feel like you had that privilege to just step out of it and do something else that would make you happy, and instead of being happy for you, some people might be jealous of you and feeling that you should have just been miserable like all the others around you, like or all the others in your school or in your workplace, that you should have been like, yeah, that you should have had solidarity with them, and kept like a camaraderie with them, and like if one person is suffering, everyone should, and like also that kind of thing. But so there could be someone in your life who feels as if, like, because they have it rough right now, then everyone else should have it rough, and so that includes you, and so seeing you happy makes them annoyed. So there could be some toxic person in your life, a bit narcissistic person who doesn't like it when other people are happy when they are not. So that could be a thing here. But yeah. So, but that's all I have for you. Group number 6. I hope this reading was helpful, and if it was, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next reading. Bye.